Welcome everyone, Kostim here on Serious Gaming to discuss the most recent developments in regards to Command & Conquer Generals 2. I'm running World in Conflict in the background, playing a skirmish against the AI. So, EA announced very recently, I actually found out about this today, they announced that they've cancelled Command & Conquer Generals 2 and that they're gonna use all the assets they've already made for that game to make Command & Conquer free to play, which is gonna be multiplayer only. There's not gonna be single player in it. And what they're gonna do with it is they're actually gonna use factions from the other Command & Conquer universes, Red Alert and Tiberium. So we're gonna have Generals, Tiberium, and Red Alert factions in one single multiplayer only free-to-play game. That's just great. That's the worst thing that EA could have done right about now to the Command & Conquer series. In one game, they're gonna ruin the entire franchise. One game. Not even Tiberium 4 was this bad. The way I see it, Red Alert 3's only problem, since that got a lot of criticism from the fans, besides some of the story bullshit, Red Alert failed on a gameplay level because it was a game designed for consoles, Red Alert 3 that is. It was a game available on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and that was really something that affected the gameplay in a very negative way, the way I see it. But that was, in terms of gameplay, its only issue. It still was entertaining, to be honest, even though the story was pretty bullshit and it was annoying that you were very limited in the number of units you had, and that single player was actually co-op, whatever. Still, it was good enough. It was actually not good, I'd say acceptable. But Tiberium 4, crap. Now this. The only one series that they didn't screw over up until this point was Generals. When Generals 2 was announced, I was actually very hopeful. They said, oh, we're gonna reintroduce base building, we're gonna reintroduce resource gathering, we're gonna reintroduce massive armies. It's like, this is great, and we're gonna make a game, strategy game that uses the Frostbite 2 engine, so it's gonna look great. It's gonna be PC exclusive. Good, good. I was really hopeful for that. But then this came after a long period of silence, and remember when John Riccatello said that he was sorry for the way EA had handled Westwood? Well, up until the point he became CEO, Westwood still produced quality games, I feel. It made, well, EA Los Angeles, that is. After EA purchased Westwood, Westwood actually released Red Alert 2. That's important to note. They then released Battle for Middle-earth, Battle for Middle-earth 2, the Witch King expansion for Battle for Middle-earth 2, all of which were pretty good. The only problem I have with Battle for Middle-earth 2 is that, again, it was a game meant for consoles, and that really did affect the gameplay. But besides that, no problem with it, to be honest. Of course, the balance is screwed up, but I never played those games for multiplayer. I always played the Westwood and then EA Los Angeles games for the gameplay. Then they made Generals, Tiberium Wars, General Zero Hour, and they were very good games. Tiberium Wars and Generals, very, very good games, as I see it. I know some people would disagree with me quite strongly on that, but that's the way I feel, and Kane's Wrath, pretty solid. And then John Riccatello came, and after he became CEO, they made, guess what? They made Red Alert 3, which again suffered from the same problem Battle for Middle-earth 2 suffered, but I think it was worse than Battle for Middle-earth 2 because Battle for Middle-earth 2 at least had a good story. It was an interesting story, whereas Red Alert 3 was... Red Alert never had a good story, but it was there was too much bullshit in Red Alert 3 as opposed to Red Alert 2. Whereas the story in Red Alert 2 was entertaining, and I played that game, 1-2 months ago, and I actually did enjoy myself. In Red Alert 3, the story was just annoying, really. And then Tiberium 4. And I really don't need to talk about Tiberium 4. So yeah, It's good that you were sorry, John Riccatello, but you fucked it up pretty badly, I'd say. Good job. Really, EA needs to get rid of him. I was kind of happy when there was this rumor going around that he was gonna be asked to step down. I had hoped that was gonna be the case, but apparently not. Whatever. So, Command and Conquer, it's dead. I think it's been dead since Tiberium 4, to be honest, but now it's just gonna be buried in the grave. To think that I spent so many hours in this series, from Red Alert 1, from Command and Conquer 1, Red Alert, Generals, all those series. I've played every single game in the series. I haven't finished all of them. I never finished the original Red Alert. I played it long after it was released, and I really wasn't interested in it at that point. But I feel that EA trying to innovate has actually fucked the Command & Conquer series, to be honest. For instance, if I look at other popular series, like, say, for instance, StarCraft, they didn't innovate in StarCraft. They haven't innovated for a very long time. Blizzard, that is. They've changed some stuff, added new units and all that, but when they were making StarCraft 2, they asked the fans, not the reviewers, who praise innovation, even if the game is bullshit. They actually did praise innovation in Tiberium 4, even though the game was bullshit. So, the fans were asked, okay, do you want us to change everything, or do you want us to use the same formula? And the fans said, use the same formula, and this is what Blizzard did. And StarCraft 2, gameplay-wise, is an excellent game, the way I see it. The balance might be broken, it might not be perfect, but it's still an excellent game, gameplay-wise. Not so much for Red Alert 3 and Tiberium 4, especially Tiberium 4. So, yeah, innovation is not necessarily good. And if EA wants to make money, then why not use the Activision formula of Call of Duty? Seriously, if EA actually went down the same route with Command & Conquer as Activision did, as in releasing the exact same thing with no changes whatsoever, just changes to the story, obviously. For me, with Command & Conquer, it has always been about single player. It's never been about multiplayer. So I'd really welcome EA to use using the same formula Activision uses. They make a bullshit story, bullshit campaign, but they could make, if EA made a long campaign but still, essentially the same gameplay, I would be fine with that. Some small changes here and there, but yeah, I'd be fine if they actually use the Call of Duty formula. And Call of Duty has made Activision a lot of money. But obviously it's a shooter series and not a strategy game series. But in regards to strategy games, we have StarCraft 1 and 2, we have the Total War series. With Total War, yes, they've changed things around. Most recently in Fall of the Samurai, they added the ability to use your ships to bombard ground troops, and to actually use your ships to bombard troops inside the battle. Railways, and other stuff. But the core gameplay of Total War has remained the same since, I even think, from the first Total War, from Total War Shogun, from Shogun Total War, all the way to Total War Shogun 2, Fall of the Samurai. The core gameplay has remained the same. Yes, they've made changes, they've made some innovation, but the core gameplay is the same. And Total War is still a successful series. I just don't see the point of innovation if you're just gonna piss everyone off. Or most people off. If you're gonna piss all your hardcore fans off, then there's no point to it, to be honest. Of course, innovation can be good. Like, I look at The Witcher 2 versus The Witcher 1 in terms of gameplay. The Witcher 1 in terms of gameplay, pretty shit. Witcher 2 in terms of gameplay, excellent, as I see it. Well, there are issues. Obviously, there are issues with any game, but it's just really, really good compared to 1. That's the way I feel. Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Costin here, signing out.